So, when you think of Tesla, what comes to mind? Probably Elon Musk, right? Maybe some super futuristic looking cars, maybe even rockets. For some people, they're just cool toys for the rich. For others, well, they're literally changing the world. But the story of how it all got started, I promise you, it is not what you expect. Okay, let's get into it. Yeah, you heard that right. Not in a garage, not some simple tale of a genius inventor. The story of the company that completely upended the auto industry. It actually starts with the death of an idea. It starts with a bunch of people holding a mock funeral for a car they believed in. And to really get why that funeral was so important, we have to rewind the clock. We have to go back to a time before Tesla was even a flicker of an idea, a time when the electric dream was alive and then suddenly was snuffed out. Okay, so picture this. It's the late 90s, and General Motors, yes, GM, builds this incredible electric car, the EV1. It was revolutionary, and it got this small but fanatically loyal following. But then, in 2003, GM just pulled the plug. They said there wasn't enough demand, and they didn't just stop making them. No, they rounded up all the existing cars, shipped them out to the desert, and literally crushed them. That moment, that funeral the fans held, it wasn't just an end. It turned out to be a beginning. Because, watching all of this go down from the sidelines were a couple of engineers from Silicon Valley. And they didn't see a failure. They saw a gigantic opportunity. So in 2003, two guys, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, they founded a company, Tesla Motors. Their whole mission was to prove that you could have a car that was incredibly fast and fuel efficient, that you didn't have to choose. A year later, they found an early investor who was all in on their vision, a guy named Elon Musk. He poured over $30 million into the company and became the chairman of the board, getting really hands-on with designing their first car. And here's where it gets really clever. They had this plan, a kind of secret master plan. It was beautifully simple. Step 1, build a crazy fast, expensive sports car, the Roadster, to prove electric cars weren't just glorified golf carts. Step 2, use the money from that to build a slightly more affordable car. And step 3, use the profits from that car to build one that the masses could actually afford. It was a brilliant, elegant roadmap. So, the plan was there. Step 1, build the Roadster. Sounds great, but the execution, well, that was a whole other story. This is the part where the company came incredibly close to dying before it even got off the ground. The initial idea seemed like a total hack. They were just going to take their new battery and motor and plug it into a body from a Lotus Elise sports car. Should be simple, right? Well, it wasn't. They ended up needing to customize more and more parts, and the costs just exploded. Get this, by the end of it all, the Roadster and the Lotus Elise only shared about 7% of their parts. 7%! The whole project was turning into a financial disaster. And when the money gets tight, the blame game starts. The internal politics got nasty. Between 2007 and 2008, it was like a revolving door at the top. The company chewed through 4 different CEOs. The co-founder, Martin Eberhard, was pushed out. An interim CEO came in, then another guy, before finally in late 2008, Elon Musk himself just took over the job. And you have to remember, these are real people caught in the middle of all this. Eberhard later said he was completely blindsided, that he never even got a chance to defend himself. It was just a brutal, chaotic time that shows you just how intense the pressure was to keep this company alive. So let's just put this in perspective. By 2009, Tesla was staring into the abyss. They had less than $10 million left in the bank. And here's the crazy part. That wasn't even enough money to deliver the cars that people had already paid for. The dream was flatlining. Again. Okay, so leadership is in chaos. The bank account is basically empty. It really truly looked like this was the end. But what happened next didn't just save Tesla, it put it on a path to completely change the entire car industry. Then, in early 2010, a lifeline. The company got a $465 million loan from the U.S. Department of Energy. This was the cash injection they were desperate for. It gave them the money to build their first real factory in Fremont, California, and to start working on the car for step 2 of their master plan, the Model S. And just a few months after that, they made another huge bet. They took the company public. Tesla had its IPO, raising another $226 million. And just to give you an idea of how wild this was, it was the first time an American car company had gone public since Ford, all the way back in 1956. And boy, did that bet pay off. In 2012, the Model S started rolling off the production line, and it was an absolute smash hit. It became the first electric car ever to win Motor Trend's Car of the Year award. This wasn't just some niche prize. It proved that an EV could be not just a good car, but the best car on the market, period. The Model S was the massive win they needed. But for Tesla, the vision was always so much bigger. It was never just about building a car. It was about building a whole new energy ecosystem. See, they knew you couldn't just sell an electric car in a world built for gasoline. You had to build the whole universe for it. Worried about batteries being too expensive? Okay, we'll build giant gigafactories to make them cheaper. Worried about driving long distances? Fine, we'll build our own global network of fast chargers. Then the vision got even bigger. Home batteries with the Powerwall, buying SolarCity to get into solar panels, and then, finally, in 2017, they launched the Model 3, the car that was the final step of that original master plan. So you step back and you look at the whole journey, from a funeral for a crushed car to this global powerhouse in energy and cars. What has the real impact been? And where do they go from here? Well, if you want to understand the scale of the disruption, just look at this number. It's kind of mind-blowing. By 2018, Tesla's value on the stock market was bigger than the 9 largest car companies in the world combined. In just over a decade, they didn't just join the party, they completely changed the music and forced everyone else to learn how to dance. And they're not even close to being done. They're pushing into trucking with the Tesla Semi, totally rethinking pickups with the Cybertruck, and going even more mainstream with the Model Y. But their biggest ideas might be even crazier, thinking of the factory itself as a product and building out that full ecosystem so you can generate, store, and use your own green energy at home. The story of Tesla is just incredible. It's about ambition, about staring into the abyss of failure, and about this relentless drive that was literally born from the ashes of a dead car. They completely remade the automobile for the 21st century. So the only question left is, what are they going to remake next?